TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
Four days away from the Packers and the Bears facing off for the first time this season. Wisconsin Badgers football takes on number 1 Oregon in 3 days. The state semifinals for high school football in the state of Wisconsin are in 2 days. And today and tomorrow we have more guests from the Beaver Dam high school football team following their historic season. It is Brandon Morrissey, the Moose, and Broc Mullenbach. Those are our special guests today. But first, our Packers contributor, Jason Wilde, is joining the show, and we have him on the line right now. Jason, how are we doing?
I'm great, although I'm a bit of a stickler for this, so don't take this the wrong way.
Uh-oh. What did I say? I just said something wrong.
Oregon is a Madison suburb. Oregon is the state in the Pacific Northwest.
I'm going to need proof of that.
I'm actually on your side on this one. This isn't like that, Jaguars thing that you guys were on a few weeks ago. I'm fully on board with this one.
Well, I feel like I'm just like the high school English teacher who comes on the show to correct you guys, and I don't want to be that character. But definitely Oregon.
Putting you in a tough
Oregon.
He'll be better.
Oregon. I'll be better. Yep. I'll actually acknowledge my wrongs in the same episode. Oh, Wally, we took a couple days on you for Jaguars.
I'm glad to hear it. Good for you for being a big man.
Perfect. Awesome.
Jaguars, whatever.
Very
Fine.
big of me. All right. So, Jason, a huge matchup coming up, kind of, I don't want to say overshadowed, but there's another headline coming out of Chicago related to Shane Waldron and the catastrophe that's going on in Chi-Town right now. In all of the years that you have covered the Packers, have you ever seen the Bears this disheveled heading into one of their rivalry games?
Ooh, good question. And I'm sure the recency effect would cause me to say no, but I'm sure they have been, right? They're constantly in some sort of version of disarray and dysfunction. So it's not like this is something new for them. This is just a different version of it. And I took a lot of heat this week for suggesting that I felt bad for Bears fans, not Bears employees, not Bears coaches, Bears fans, that they have to put up with this level of dysfunction and ineptitude. But that was not well received, as you guys can probably imagine. But the bottom line is that this happens all the time with these guys. Like they're on what, their third straight first-round pick quarterback, right? Trubisky, Justin Fields, now obvious, and they're ruining the guy that was the can't-miss prospect. He was sacked 9 times last week by another team that's terrible. Like it's just like they just can't get out of their own way. And I can see why Packers fans enjoy watching the car crash that is the Chicago Bears.
So looking back to, the John Fox era, the Mark Trestman era, I am one of those Bears fans you're feeling bad for, by the way, so thank you, Jason. Yeah. So, but
learn something new every day on this show.
Yeah, I ripped the Band-Aid off on that one, what was it, a couple weeks ago, and I don't go out of my way to mention it, because I don't want it to impact the credibility of this show, but yeah, I'm quietly suffering.
Oh, don't worry. It's not going to affect the credibility of this show.
That's perfect.
All right. So I'll phrase it this way then. I appreciate the remorse. Have you ever felt this bad? Because they've had the 3-14 teams. They've had the years where they're out of the playoff conversation by now, early on in November. Have you ever seen this quick a fall from grace before they play the Packers?
Yeah, I just don't understand it, right? Like, they have good pieces. They've got a good defense, not as good as they've had in the past, but they've got players on that defense, right? And they made moves to bolster that defense. They're not very good against the run, but they're pretty good against the pass, and they take the ball away. But offensively, Cole Kmet is a good player, right? Keenan Allen's a good player. Rome Odunze is a good player. DJ Moore, when he's not coming off the field and getting a hot dog in the middle of a play, is a good player. So I just don't understand what exactly has happened. And then you get the guy that, look, I understand that there's still a lot of hard feelings for Chicagoans and Bears fans that Mitch Trubisky was the pick at number 2 years ago and Patrick Mahomes became Patrick Mahomes, right? I remember when Deshaun Watson, who was still good and didn't have all the off-the-field stuff, when Deshaun Watson would play against Patrick Mahomes, Waddle and Sylvie down in Chicago would call it the son of a Mitch Bowl because it was watching two really good quarterbacks the Bears could have had instead of Trubisky. But this is different, man. This guy was the can't-miss prospect. There was no, like Trubisky, he was a one-year starter at Carolina, or, Justin Fields is a great athlete, but can he be a really good NFL quarterback with his playing style? This guy was the can't-miss guy. And I by the way, I'm a believer in that. I think he is. I think he just went to a team that is on the verge of really screwing him up, and maybe irreparably if they don't get it together. So I think this is as bad as it is because, unlike, as you kind of alluded to, unlike those other years where you didn't have expectations, now you have expectations, and they're far under what has actually occurred.
From talking to the players in the locker room, Jason, especially this week, do you sense as harsh of a rivalry between these two teams as you would have when this rivalry was more competitive in the mid-2000s, late 2000s?
Yeah, I would just say this, I know I've had this conversation with players in the past, so I know, and I can't paint every player this way, just like I would never paint a fan base with a broad brush as if all of them are the same. But that said, for most players, the rivalry is kind of bunk.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it's certainly a legitimate rivalry for fans. And it's certainly something that we talk about or write about, and the players know that they should say that it's a rivalry. Now, I was talking just a little while ago to Dontavion Wicks in the locker room, and Dontavion Wicks is a pretty honest dude. Like, we were talking about his drops, and he totally owned that. But then we were talking about the rivalry. It's kind of like, I'm not really, it's not really about the rivalry for me. But I will tell you this. Xavier McKinney spoke, and I did not know this from the offseason, but apparently DJ Moore, when he wasn't leaving the field in the middle of a play, was on Up and Adams with Kay Adams when the Packers signed Xavier McKinney, and Kay asked him about Xavier McKinney, and DJ Moore said, "Who?"
Bulletin board material.
And I can tell you this, Xavier McKinney has not forgotten that. I didn't know about it, but he definitely knew about it, and he has not forgotten that. So that, I would say, is a rivalry. But this all came up because I think it was Bill Huber who asked McKinney, like, look, you went to Alabama, right? Auburn, Alabama is a rivalry, right? It's a college thing. You're a younger person yourself, taking part in the rivalry. College rivalries are just different. Ohio State, Wally, Michigan, right? That kind of stuff. And so, I just think in the pros, it's kind of a phony storyline. And I would also add this, no offense, but I don't think the Ohio State University
good catch
feels a real strong rivalry with Ohio U.
No.
And that's kind of the way Packers-Bears has been for most of the last 30 years, and definitely for the last 5.
Wow. Corey's face just got beat red, Jason. I'm going to appreciate that one.
LaFleur is 10-0 against them.
I know the stats. I know the stats.
Wow.
I'm just hurt.
I was going to say, I'm watching Corey melt down like I don't see him melt down on air. This is awesome.
There is nothing you said that was incorrect. You just hit the nail on the head a few minutes ago when you said, for once, there actually were expectations, and they were all destroyed. Wally, I'll let you ask the question.
And wait, before Wally goes, I want to just add this quickly, because another take that I have had that has not gone over well with Packers fans, and frankly, I brought it up to Love today, and Love's line was, yeah, that would be cool, but But I would love, no pun intended, for Caleb Williams to be really good and the Bears to be good and relevant. So there can be, and Love, obviously, to kind of get his interception issues resolved here, and for him to play like he did during the second half of last season. Mm-hmm. Because I would love for there to be a genuine competitive rivalry and two quarterbacks in the same division that are both young and really, really good, right? So if Caleb Williams turns out to be that and the Bears don't completely ruin him and whoever the next coach is helps him succeed, it would be, I think, from a storyteller's perspective, awesome if the two of those guys were going back and forth. And I don't know if that'll happen because of this, but you don't have to worry about me being anti-Bears. I just spoke the truth on the record.
No, you did.
But I would like this. I would like it to be, as I said to Love, I'd like it to be like Brady and Manning, right? Rodgers didn't have any real rivalry with quarterbacks because obviously Jay Cutler didn't beat him very often,
right, and
obviously Matthew Stafford didn't beat him very often. So it's not really a rivalry. And this would be it if they can get Caleb Williams going.
That's fair.
Hey, I'll ask a couple before we let you go here, Jason. From a Packers perspective, does the Shane Waldron firing, is it all outside noise, or does it actually have a practical change in how the game plan preparations for Jeff Hafley and this defense are going to go?
No, I think it has at least maybe it's just a small influence, but, Matt LaFleur said they got to go back now and look at how Thomas Brown called the Panthers offense last year when he was their offensive coordinator. So, and that there might be some unscouted looks where he's been sitting there in meetings as the pass game coordinator thinking, all right, I'd really like to do this or really do that, but Waldron is the coordinator, I'm not. So I don't think it has a major impact on the Packers, but I can't say that it has no impact either.
All right, I got one more for you here. Just because we have talked so much about Jordan Love's turnover problems and the team's talking like we're going to get those trimmed down, my question for you is, what exactly does that look like? What are the Packers actively doing to try to help cut down on those turnover-worthy throws?
Well, I think the first thing that matters the most is that he was a full participant in practice today, and while he may not be 100% healthy, he's obviously much healthier than he had been for the last month going into the bye, right? I mean, he's still coming back from the knee, then he's got the groin injury in Jacksonville. Look, I believe in the value of practice. I just think it doesn't matter if you're an 8th grade basketball team or the NFL, one of the top NFL teams. And whether you're a great quarterback or undersized point guard, you need practice to get better. And Love was not practicing. I actually, he admitted this afterward that he had forgotten, but he didn't practice barely at all going into the Lions game. He didn't practice at all on Wednesday of that week. He only did individual drill on Thursday, and then he practiced on Friday, but Friday's not a heavy load practice. So, you're wondering why he's inaccurate or why he's turning the ball over more. That is part of it. There's no two ways about it. So, to me, that's the biggest thing. And he was talking as if he had practiced before the Lions game, and I was like, look, I don't want to call you a liar, which was a dangerous way to start that sentence, I'll be honest. But I'm like, Jordan, you didn't practice at all Wednesday before the Lions, and you only did individual drills on Thursday. Like, I know you believe in the value of practice, and that has to have affected how you played. And then he answered that, and then afterward he pulled me aside. He's like, I got to be honest, I totally forgot that I didn't practice before the Lions game, barely at all. So that, to me, is the biggest thing for him to start looking more like himself again, is for him to keep practicing, stay healthy, not have any more injury issues, and be able to kind of build that up. Because, man, I know he has not looked like it the first half of the season, but he was playing the quarterback position better than anybody in the league during the second half of last season.
100%. We are talking with Jason Wilde. You can hear him live on Wilde and Tausch weekdays from 9 a.m. until noon across ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand. Jason, I just have one more quick question for you. I see Robert Saleh is back and around the team throughout this week of practice. From a frequency standpoint, is that kind of still up in the air for a fluid role? He's going to be here one week. He won't be here the next week. Not really set in stone?
Yeah, good question. We probably should have asked Matt that today, and we didn't. We covered a lot of other ground with him.
Sure.
But, yeah, he is – I will say this. Mark Murphy does that column on Packers.com the first Saturday of every month, and he was the first one to actually say officially that the team had hired Robert Saleh. Because when LaFleur talked about it that first week he was here, he talked about it being fluid. He didn't really – it was very vague on what his role was going to be. And as I said, if I got fired by Woody Johnson and my contract had offsets that if I took another job that would be less money that Woody Johnson would have to pay me then for firing me after whatever it was, 5 games, I would be telling the Packers to pay me in like Quick Trip gift cards because I want every penny that guy owes me. So I don't know what they're paying him, but he is officially on the payroll in some way. And so I don't know if he'll be here this week and then not here next week or what it'll look like, but he definitely will have some sort of role for the rest of the year.
Makes sense. Well, Packers-Bears in 4 days. Jason, we'll talk to you on Friday. I will not be on the show. Hopefully I won't be encountering a hurricane either. I'll be in Florida doing my best Bulaga impression, but we appreciate you coming on.
All right, well, you'd be safer if you went to Oregon or Oregon. Either one, it sounds like.
Great way to close it up. Oregon.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Thanks, Jason.
Appreciate it. That again, Jason Wilde. You can hear him live on Wilde and Tausch weekdays from 9 a.m. until noon across ESPN Wisconsin. That includes ESPN Beaver Dam and Wisconsin On Demand. Oregon. I'm going to do that thing where you write it on the chalkboard 10 times in phonetics.
See, it was the other way for me. I had to get used to saying Oregon here for the high school.
I think that turned me. I think if you talked to Corey of 2 years ago, it
would have been Oregon
all the time. Yep.
I think that might be it too, because even I've been catching myself doing the Oregons. I'm trying really hard phonetically, like you said. I got to get these cities and towns in Wisconsin down.
100%. Well, we do appreciate Jason Wilde coming on and giving us insight on the Packers ahead of what's not as tough and rough of a rivalry with the Bears as it once was. Ohio State against Ohio, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah,
I rose my eyebrows, and then it was like, he's not wrong. 10 straight, going for 11 in a row on him. Not much competitive spirit there. When we come back, what is it fair to expect from our beloved Wisconsin Badgers football team? Barry Alvarez, new teammate at ESPN Madison, is trying to put some motivation into them, really light a fire under their rear end. What is it fair to expect from the Badgers? That coming up next in the back half of the show. Broc Mullenbach and Brandon Morrissey from Beaver Dam Football. This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV.
1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
We welcome you back to the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. Corey Sparks, Wally Lukashinsky here with you, talking Badgers football for a few, and then it'll be time for Broc Mullenbach and Brandon Morrissey, Defensive Player of the Year for the East Central Conference. Brandon Morrissey in the final two blocks of the show. But first off, Wally, new teammate of ours, just as of a couple of days ago, Barry Alvarez, who joined the team at ESPN Madison earlier this week. He's trying to light a fire under this Badgers football team's rear end, saying they need to fight every single play. And while I agree with that, I'll pose the question to you first. Do you believe they put up a fight against the number one team in the country in Oregon? Oregon.
No, Oregon. No, they don't. Oregon is going to be getting in the end zone quite a bit this weekend. You like that? Yeah.
You're a rapper, poet?
Yeah, I didn't even know it. But Wisconsin is a team that in that Penn State game, that USC game, in the Iowa game, I kept going to bat. I kept coming back and saying, this is going to be where they figure it out. This is where we figure out that they are still in there, that Wisconsin football is still alive and well in that locker room. I'm done.
Yep.
I don't have it. This is a team that's been outscored 98-17 in their 4 second-half losses this year. That's otherworldly to me. That's 14 touchdowns in those second halves. That's unbelievable. That's just like, I don't know if it's they're out of juice. I don't know if it's out-talented, if it's a mix of both. Yeah. But there's a problem, and why would it magically get better when the Oregon Ducks are coming into town?
I don't want to say, no, I do want to say it, actually. I'm going to enjoy this a lot. I told you so.
Yeah, you did.
You had a lot of optimism.
Congratulations.
I don't want people out there to think I'm a hater of the Badgers. Out of the two of us, I'm the fan of the Badgers. You're a Buckeyes guy who was being a little more optimistic than me, but just looking through the timeline, the collapse against a USC team that isn't that great doesn't look that great right now. The horrible mistakes made against Penn State were brutal, specifically the pick six by Mr. Locke in the midst of Locktober. Then the worst loss of the year, a 42-10 embarrassment against an Iowa team that if they're going to hold you to 10 points, you don't put your head down. That's what they're meant for. But a 40-burger from that offense that has been, we were covering the Galloping Ghosts a couple of weeks ago. They've been Casper. They haven't been there. You can see right through. They have not done this to the Badgers in recent memory, and they made it look easy. They probably could have put up 50 if they wanted to. Barry Alvarez came on Kyle Brust-Nortman yesterday, and Ben Brust asked him, what is this team's identity if you want to have belief in them? And he said, I can't answer that. I don't know what to expect, but my expectations in general are pretty low.
Yeah, they should be low.
Yeah.
I mean, this Oregon team, too, coming in, has a Heisman frontrunner.
Yeah.
I knew you were not going to like
a strong
that.
word.
They have a Heisman candidate. Does that make you feel better?
He's somewhere on the bottom half of the conversation.
He will be in New York.
He's a friend.
All right, fine. Dillon Gabriel, whether or not you think he's a Heisman candidate, he's a very good quarterback.
Yeah, he's okay.
They have an outstanding running game. Jordan James averaging over 5.5 yards a carry. They have a dozen pass catchers, it seems like they utilize. Yep. This is a team that really had struggled finding stops against Iowa. I don't know why now, just because you're getting not even a coach that's on your team now, a former coach is calling you out in the media. That is going to get the team to actually show up against and win this game or even compete in this game, because that's for me.
I wish it would.
I mean, genuinely for me, I'm trying to all day been asking myself, is moral victories what we want on Saturday, or are we past that where now we need to actually see results? I don't know, because if they lose 38-24, I almost call it a win.
I definitely would. And it's funny you mentioned that score, because I'm seeing on multiple sites they're 14-point underdogs. I'm sorry, but if you take another team that is not Wisconsin, it doesn't have the cardinal red with the W on the helmet, that you've known to be in Rose Bowls the last decade and a half, that you've known to have 10, 11 win seasons, a 12-win season under Hornibrook, that you've known to be in the Big Ten championship, if you take past performance bias out of this, why on earth are they only 14-point underdogs? They just lost by 32 to Iowa.
The environment. It's the only thing that I could even think of is it's Camp Randall.
Okay, so then it should be 17 on neutral ground. I still wouldn't give. I feel like that's generous.
I do too. I picked it for this week. You'll see it on our picks on Saturday for the ESPN Madison team. I had it 38-13.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, think I might be underselling this because the only thing that can make me feel like this is closer than what we're suggesting right now is if they come out and they hit the ground running in the first half and they play emotional. They
really
play,
hope so.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's going to take that. I just don't know if you're going to be able to continue to drive or string drives together as this game goes on. I think Oregon's offense is going to get more comfortable as this game goes on. This needs to be like the Badgers are up at half to even have a shot.
And they have been up at half before, obviously, against USC. That was a colossal failure. It was a competitive game against Penn State. They let that one go. My issue is exactly what Barry Alvarez was talking about as well. This team does not have an identity. Badgers football, for the longest time, in its heyday, which wasn't that long ago, phenomenal defense. They win in the trenches. They're bigger than you. They're more physical than you. And as a result of that, on offense, they're going to run the ball. They can't run the ball. They have a backup quarterback in there who is in a, what have we been saying all year, air raid offense, and it doesn't look that good. I don't want to see any more of it, to be honest. I'm finally in your camp where it's let's just go back and run the ball because then at least you can't throw a pick six if you hand the ball off.
Shorten the game at the least.
And that defense allowed 42 to Iowa. Yeah, shorten the game at least. That's kind of what I'm hoping for at this point. Get out, and I hate moral victories too, get out and make the scoreboard look respectable.
It's just we're at a point where bowl eligibility isn't a foregone conclusion anymore.
Nebraska and Minnesota are not for sure wins.
No, so it's
not.
like even if you come out of this game just feeling like, hey, we at least belonged on the football field with that Ducks team, maybe you can rationalize it as we are seeing improvement, but at some point people are going to want to see actual on-field results, and it just hasn't happened this year. There's not a lot of reason to believe it should happen now. I'm just at a low point with this team. I've gone to bat for these big games. I can't go to bat this time.
You have, yeah. It's going to be tough too. You mentioned there's multiple Oregon receivers. Sorry, Jason, that have done great so far this year. There's 4 different receivers for the Ducks. We can't mess that pronunciation up. That will finish the season over 500 yards. Dylan Gabriel is having a very good season. All jokes aside, they have almost 1,900 rushing yards, and they're averaging 5 yards per carry. And that's a rushing attack that in the third and fourth quarter, you know they're going to run the ball because they're up on you by 2, 3, 4 possessions. They have a run game they've been able to stick to. I mean, this would be a great win, but it's not going to happen.
I mean, you're talking about one of the biggest wins, I feel like.
I will take back everything I have said in the last 10 minutes if they somehow do that.
Because if they find a way, let's just in this hypothetical imaginary world, they win this game on Saturday, it completely changes everything going into the offseason because you will have a bowl. You're going to have 2 games that you're going to feel like they should be wins after this.
Recruiting's going to be a little easier.
You would hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be not that hard to begin with. You're at Wisconsin. We're in the NIL era. Just pony up. We got to figure out that, too. That NIL purse out there for the Badgers, we got to juice that up.
Yep.
Too good of a team, too good of a program to just have this happen, it feels like, over and over again now.
It's a damn shame. That's about all I have to say about it, to be honest. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy. I'd have to look back to see what my official prediction is, but if Iowa's putting up 42...
42-16, I think you had, 42-17?
I think so. I'd be really shocked if Oregon didn't do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
They're just loaded.
It's going to be ugly. I'm hoping that we get to come back and say, all right, hand up. We're morons.
I would love to be wrong.
I don't think we're going to.
Nope. I know you love to be wrong, too.
Yeah, I'm very good at it. I'm a very mature individual that handles it very well. So, yeah, I'll be good.
Yeah, as do I. So I hope they prove us wrong, but I think anything less than a 30-point loss is not a victory, but it's better than what I expected. When we come back, on to bigger and better and happier things. Let's talk to some East Central Conference champions. 2 of the grittiest players from this year's Beaver Dam football team, Brandon Morrissey and Broc Mullenbach, will join the show up next. This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. without further ado, welcome back to the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN, Beaver Dam, and Daily Dodge TV. Oh, there we go. We'll adjust in the frame on Daily Dodge TV here. All four of us. Without further ado, we welcome in the East Central Conference Defensive Player of the Year in Brandon Morrissey and first team All East Central Conference linebacker in Broc Mullenbach. Broc, you and I know each other. Brandon, this is our first time up. Welcome both of you guys to the show.
Thank you for having us.
I got to start with the simple question that's on everybody's mind. You're both banged up. Everybody's thinking it. You're both a little dinged up from the football season. Who wins in a fight between you guys right now?
You know, it kind of depends if we're going neutral, just punching, or if we're on the ground. I think I'd take down the ground, but I think Brandon's got me.
UFC? What is this, Wally?
I don't know. I was going to say, maybe you guys have to set the rules. I know we got a wrestler here.
I'm giving it to him.
Okay. I think
honestly, I'm giving it to him.
Hand-to-hand combat, it's going to be a good fight.
Perfect. We'll have to schedule that after the show.
I'm sure that's very legal. Yeah. Well, let's start with the accomplishments that I just mentioned, some of them as a whole. Brandon, you were named to the All-Region team recently. You were first team All-Conference and Defensive Player of the Year for the East Central. Looking back at this season, how much more do those accolades mean to you, knowing it was a part of a special group? And then same with you, Broc.
Yeah, I think I get it like from, what's it called? Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're doing what I do every day.
Like I wouldn't be in that position if we didn't be successful this year. So it all full circle, right? I wouldn't get first team if we didn't win games. That's all 11 on the field, each side of the ball. So
yeah, by like everybody doing their job, it kind of like gives everybody equal chance to make plays. So like by me setting the edge, I can give Gavin like more plays on the inside, and then Brandon can come up and make a play, and then like maybe they split it outside and I'm there to make a tackle. It's like really anything happened. Like we build off each other and it just always goes great, and we can tell by last season. So.
Yeah.
Has it sunk in for you guys yet? 1983 is a long time. First conference champ since then. Like now that you've had a little time to reflect on it, like how special of an achievement was this to you guys?
It's pretty big. I mean, I kind of had a feeling we would be able to do something special this year. And it's really cool that we actually put it into perspective and how long it's been. It's been awesome.
Yeah, seeing the guys like across all spectrum, like JV, JV2, like seeing like everybody to come up. Like some people got their chance like way earlier than others, but like when everybody's together, then everything changed and we just built off each other and it just went great.
Some of the biggest games of your guys' football career right there at the end, right? At Menasha and then against Kaukauna as well. Regarding toughness, both of you were battling through some injuries and still went in there.
Yep.
Could you just let us know, we'll start with you, Brandon, then you, Broc, what you guys were going through and what you were playing through at one point?
Yeah, so earlier in the season, I dislocated my shoulder like during that Plymouth week, but I got it back into, playing ability. And then right before the Menasha game, before it even happened, I dislocated again. And then during the game, but then I just got to put back in place and went back in there.
That's unbelievable.
I literally am crying thinking about it. So you went back into a game. Was it the adrenaline at that point?
Yeah, I felt it afterwards, but it was fine during the game.
Okay.
Dog.
Yeah. Mine started about homecoming week. It was just in the locker room after the game, actually, not even during the game. It just ended up popping, and then from there on out, for 2 weeks, I think I dealt with it, and eventually it just caught up to me. And during the game, I just took one false step, and then it felt like it popped out, and then just stayed there. And then just stepped off halftime, went back in, and then I couldn't keep up. So just had to step out, and then not to push it anymore. So.
Well, in hearing those answers, it makes a lot of sense. We asked Coach Lindy yesterday what would be one word he would use to describe Beaver Dam football. He used the word gritty. How did this group establish that attitude for loving physical football? You can't fake it. You either love physical football or you're not built for it.
Like I feel like we got it really from lifting. Like all throughout since freshman year, we were all committed to the weight room and all like getting each other hyped up and getting each other better, and by building off each other, we were just able to get stronger and just put our hearts in the game.
Yeah. I would say looking way back to the beginning, before this season, maybe many, many years ago, when did each of you start your football journeys, and how have you kind of developed into the awesome players you were your senior year?
I started in, It was third grade, I think.
Youth. Yeah, third grade was when we started youth. I think it was flag, right?
Nope. We got to do tackle right,
Oh,
Right away,
Yeah,
that's
we got
right.
to do tackle was before
They
we
make
got
them do
switched.
flag now.
Yep.
But yeah, we got to do tackle. I popped in 5th grade. 5th grade is when I popped in because I just came from Minnesota. But yeah, that's when I popped in. I was on this guy's team for 2 years, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, since probably about 3rd grade, just been in tackle football. So just having that experience from the start was really nice.
Brandon, your last name kind of begs the question, what's his nickname going to be? We heard Moose a lot. Where did that start?
Yep.
Who started that?
I'm not too sure, honestly. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
It's definitely from sports, though, and it just kind of stuck.
You were going to always be a defender with that kind of a name.
Oh, yeah.
With that kind of name, I mean, you had no choice but to be a physical football player. Love it.
Brock, you were used more on offense this year.
Oh,
You're going to
yeah.
talk about that role and the conversations you and Coach Lindy had in the offseason.
Yeah. So during the offseason, like he was like, "Oh, can you get your hands up so you can get out for some more passes? Because like you can be utilized there." And then obviously I've been a little bit for like blocking and stuff.
Sure.
But when I got in, just give me this chance at that Z spot. I took it because I don't know. I just really like the ball in my hand. Anybody does really.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, always being able to like improve myself. I like to improve how much I can like do on the field, and just putting it all out there.
Well, clearly you both love to have the ball in your hand. Both of you scoring quite a few touchdowns this year, but we could see that you love defense too.
Oh, yeah.
My question is, what would you prefer? To go in and score a touchdown offensively or get a big stop, whether it be on 4th down or a pick defensively?
I got to say big stop for sure. Cause,
Yeah.
Football guy answers right there. I love that.
I mean, defense is going to win you championships for sure, right? You can't win a game if you're giving up 50 points a game. So
Still getting that tutty is still really
It's
great.
probably feeling pretty good.
It's
Great,
nice
great
though,
feeling,
for
but
sure.
still that 4th down stop. After that, you just get to scream as loud as you can. You know, I do that all the time on the field. I just I just holler.
That's good.
Just
Little
always
talker?
yell. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's
Yep.
What were some goals that each of you set for yourselves heading into the season? Coach Lindy was talking to us yesterday about how there were 12 goals ahead of every game, and you guys kind of started to establish that, you know, game after game when you got into conference play. But each of you, what did you want to get done your senior year?
If I'm being real, I wanted to be the defensive player of the year because that's something I saw and I wanted to go take it. So I was excited to actually be able to get that done this year.
Nicely done. Fantastic.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to make more significant plays just throughout the years, and definitely on both sides of the ball because I was more utilized on only defense junior year. So making plays on offense was also really nice.
Let's talk a little bit about that defense because offense gets a lot of praise, as they should. It was phenomenal this year, but the defense was staunch too. 2 shutouts, probably could have been more if it wasn't for a few of those blowouts, getting some younger guys in. What was it that made this group so special defensively?
I think the bend don't break mentality, right? We could give up a lot of first downs, but they don't make it in the end zone. That drive didn't matter. So
Yeah.
and also the 111th, doing your one job, and everybody's got that one job, and you can't do 2 people's jobs because then you're doing too much, and then somebody's gonna make a mistake.
Yeah, we've also got a great scout offense too. Near the end of the year, we had a lot of reps because we had the JV guys come up, and we'd have like 2 scout teams, and they just rotate, and we just get so many reps, and it was just great work. We had
Little props for the scout team. I love that. I was a
yeah.
scout team guy myself. So
I always
out there.
appreciate it. It's always good. It's always good to have them helping out, and they push us. That's what's making us good. They're giving us a good look.
Was there a defining moment, whether it be in practice with the scout team, the big win over Plymouth, when you guys won conference, where the group kind of started to get together and go, I think we can do something that no team has done in 40 years, or, you know, go on runs that no team has done in recent memory?
I'm gonna say before the season even started, right?
Yeah.
In the July camps, like we were getting the offensive playbook so much faster because we had so many returners that I knew that we were gonna be able to put up points and win a lot of games this year.
Yeah, just being able to go through like during the camp days, it was probably 2 days in, we probably had twice the amount of plays we had in for the first like week.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, then I got one that's not as fun, but Mount Horror Barneveld got you guys early in the season, but that sometimes can be a blessing in disguise for teams. Did something happen that week after that loss that you guys like reset, refocused on that goal collectively for the rest of the season?
It showed that we weren't invincible, right? We could lose games and that we had to flush it, and we had to be really detail-orientated in practice to make sure that didn't happen again.
Yeah, and it's like if you don't play a team like that, then you're gonna never know what your like faults are. So being able to see where we need improvement on really helped us throughout the year.
You guys have mentioned this a few times, Brock, with the scout team and even the JV team and JV2 playing really well this year. Who are some names each of you are looking forward to taking on bigger roles in the program for years forward so that the team can go and compete for a conference championship again in 2025?
I'll start. He was on varsity already, but Parker Blank for sure, because he's going to get a lot more touches on offense this year. He's going to take a bigger role in defense. I think he'll be the voice of that defense next year for sure.
Yeah. Someone who's probably going to come up in my spot, Nick Krasinski.
Yeah.
He's someone to look forward to. He might be able to play and make some plays. He probably will. But yeah, those two are going to really step up, and there's plenty more. There's plenty more people coming.
Through all of your time with the Golden Beavers program, what is it going to be the thing that you're going to remember most about being a part of this group?
I think the team, just the team. Like the wins, sure they're cool, but like that's my family for sure. And I'll always remember that no matter what. And I know I can go to those guys in like 30 years and be like, remember that? Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, I definitely say everybody had like a certain thing to them that made the team special. And I really won't forget the Lindy speeches.
Oh, I bet
The
those
Lindy
were awesome to hear.
Oh, yeah. He can talk, but they're always good to listen to. So always keeping us attentive and like.
He had us ready to run through a wall yesterday.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
oh my God, I only
A few
imagine.
good quotes. I think we asked him, how do you go back to back? And he goes, you got to win one first.
I was literally like,
I was like,
ready
that's a good point.
Head banging on the wall right here. I could only imagine you guys pregame.
He's always on top of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. He's just all over, and it's big props to him too. He takes control of the program. He's stepped up, and he changed that program. It's crazy what he did.
It has been crazy, and you guys are definitely a huge part of that too. So we appreciate it. We got one more before we go to break for you. But once this school year's over, what comes next for you guys?
For sure going to college, right? I want to go play football, but, haven't committed yet. But I got some teams talking to me, but hopefully that goes through.
The moose will still be loose. I like it.
Oh yeah, just definitely farther in my education. Trying to get accepted to different colleges, see what I can do. So that's pretty much it.
I like it. Broc Mullenbach and Brandon Morrissey in On the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN, Beaver Dam, and Daily Dodge TV. Fellas, we'll take a quick break, and then we're going to come out with some rapid-fire questions. We know you had your banquet recently, so we're going to have you guys assign some of your own awards to the team, most likely to that type of thing. So we'll jump into that, get to know you guys a little bit more.
Sounds great.
And we'll be back in a couple minutes here on 1430 ESPN, Beaver Dam, and Daily Dodge TV. you back to the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. We've got Brandon Morrissey here. We've got Broc Mullenbach here. Wally Lukashinsky, Corey Sparks. Beaver Dam football, Lindy just told us, had their banquet recently. You guys do awards here and there. We're going to assign some different awards. You guys are going to assign some different awards. Best taste in music.
Broc Mullenbach.
Oh!
Yep.
Uh-oh.
He kind of
Is that unanimous? You agree?
Unanimous? Oh, gosh. I guess I'll take the unanimous.
He's bashful, too. I love it. How about most likely to become the President of the United States?
Oh, I got to give that to Josiah Barnes.
All right.
I agree.
He's
I agree with that
philosophical guy.
one. He sure is.
He's got the mind for it. Locker room clown. Who's the funniest?
Oh, gosh. Hayden Burkon. I get you.
Blake for sure.
Blake Hartman.
Okay.
He's up there,
Jokes,
too.
yeah.
How about
Yep.
clumsiest?
Clumsiest. Oh, gosh.
I'd say Avery.
Yeah.
Avery Fremright.
Carter Rohde.
Oh, there you go.
With the scooter, he's got everybody riding it.
You got the last one.
Yeah,
I'll be nice to you.
Who's got the brains? Smartest player on the team?
I like to say Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah,
for sure,
Jeffrey.
the 4.0.
Jeffrey's
We
got
got
it
that
up there,
sense
too.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 2 days
Mechanical
ago.
engineering. I mean, what
Yeah.
are we doing here?
yeah,
I
he's
felt like I
a
wasn't supposed to sit in a room with him after I heard that. I'm like, guess we'll
feel
ask you
the-
a
I feel
question
the
about
same way.
football. It's like, great.
And then we'll go rapid fire here. Favorite NFL team?
Packers.
Vikings.
Ooh, we got a Bears fan over
We
here.
got
We got
three-fourths of the division
Oh,
here.
gosh.
Yeah, no
disaster
Lions.
alert. How about favorite player growing up?
Aaron Rodgers for sure.
All right.
AP, Adrian Peterson. That's
Makes
my guy.
sense. We're keeping on the theme with the teams
Yeah.
there so
Yeah.
far.
Who wins the Super Bowl this year?
I'm gonna say the Packers.
Okay.
You know, as long as they're in it, they got to change for sure.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with that.
Oh, man.
I don't
Definitely
know
not
who
the
to say,
Vikings.
though.
Definitely
Yeah,
not
no.
the Vikings.
They're not going to
Another
let you
team in the
back
division.
on
Oh,
at
they-
some
yeah.
point.
Yeah. I don't know. Our whole conference can take it, honestly.
As long as it's not the Chiefs again, your conference can have it.
Oh, yeah.
He's a
Lions
Raiders fan.
maybe,
He's sick of
Lions
Patrick
maybe.
Mahomes.
It's over. I'm done. How about major you guys want to take on in school?
Oh, athletic training.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, once again,
Kinesiology.
sports.
Oh, and a couple of there that can use a little bit in sports if you need to as well. I like that.
Oh, this could be the deal breaker. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Nope.
This is
Let's
horrible.
go!
That's
This-
a go for
no
me.
wonder Brock Lindy's running a great program. He has these kids talking sense.
We're taking that question off the ballot.
Oh, that's locked in. Thank God everybody here makes. Oh, that's me. My heart is skipping right now.
I feel validated.
All right, I'm
Jack
very
Bars.
validated. All right, how about when is it allowed to be, or what? When are you allowed to start playing Christmas music?
I'm a Christmas guy, so I'm gonna say right now.
All right.
So like November 1st for you?
Yep.
All
Right
right.
after Halloween.
Oh, gosh. I got to say after Thanksgiving.
My God.
Okay.
After
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving,
agree with
I
that.
respect Thanksgiving too much to do that, and this guy has his Christmas tree up already.
Already.
I'm calling him out.
Yep.
Unreal.
Calling him out.
Mine's
He's
been
got
up
it
all
up
year long.
already.
Yeah, he actually has his up all year long.
Yeah, we
Like,
don't
what
take
are
it
we
down.
doing here?
That's better.
I mean, I guess a lot of people do it, so I can't say nothing
You can't
about
pass up Creed Day, Thanksgiving. I mean, what are we doing?
it. Put up a bunch of poundage on that day.
You and me both, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest fear. Oh, I like that.
Heights. For
Okay.
sure. That gets the
I'm with
stomach-
you on that.
That gets the stomach turning for sure.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I guess bugs.
Yeah.
Bugs. I don't know. I was getting like a snake vibe too. No, he's just got like 8 snakes at home or something.
Oh, yeah.
He's scared of snakes.
I just
I don't
kind of
know
got a
snakes.
snake vibe. I'm a snake guy. I kind of got that feeling. I guess I was
I
wrong.
don't know. The centipedes just don't really itch me right. I don't know.
Too many
I
lips.
found one of those
Yeah.
yesterday, so
Oh, cool.
I'll send them to your address next time.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you guys so much
We
for
appreciate
coming.
it. No
problem.
Congratulations
Heck yeah.
on the fantastic here.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you for having us on.
Yep.
Broc Mullenbach, Brandon Morrissey, Wally Lukashinsky, Corey Sparks. This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. Homer Hour coming up next on 1430 ESPN from 5 to 6. We will see you tomorrow.